Hello and welcome back, guys. In the previous session, we have seen that how we can actually start up with the keyword-driven framework and what kind of approaches we can follow while designing our framework. So far, we have designed our framework where we have designed a keywords class and we have designed few keywords inside that class. Okay, then we have seen that how we can actually reduce the programming efforts in the framework designing. Okay, now in this session I'm going to tell you the more advanced way of maintaining your framework. So if you observe over here in the test cases, these were the test cases that we have written. Now if you observe here in this test case, automation tester have to write these XPaths, right? Automation tester or the guy who is automating the test cases need to write these XPaths, and he have to provide these XPaths as a parameter over here. Okay, but let's imagine that the guy who wants to do the automation doesn't know how to find the XPath. He doesn't know how to find the locator, how to write the locator. So in that case, we should be maintaining all these locators in a separate file. Okay, in a separate file, and we should fetch all of these locators from that file. So it will become easy for us to maintain the test cases, also to maintain the objects. Okay, let us imagine that this is the drop down of birthday day, and this is month, and this is year. Okay, so this is the XPath for the day drop down, this is XPath for month drop down, and this is XPath for year drop down. So let's say for this test case I am finding the XPath for this particular day and month and year. Okay, maybe this may happen that in your team four different people are working on the same project again, and this may happen that they may write their own XPath for this day, okay, for this month, for this year. So obviously in their classes, okay, in their test methods, they have to write their own XPaths and locators. Okay, so obviously this will lead to the duplicacy, where duplicate objects are going to be formed by each and every team member. Why they are going to be formed duplicate? Because every team member doesn't know about what other team members are doing and how they are finding, or whether they have already written a XPath for them, whether they have already written a locator for a particular element. Nobody has the knowledge. So it is recommended to maintain whatever locators we are writing for your entire project, maintain all of the locators in separate file. Okay, so that we cannot have a duplicate elements over there. Okay, and whosoever requires those locators, they have to call those locators from that particular unique file. So it will bring a uniqueness, it will bring a readability to your entire project. It will bring a very neat and clean approach for designing the locators and accessing the locators and maintaining the locators also. Let's say in a next build, same locator is getting changed. Okay, ID is getting changed, or maybe class name is getting changed. So in that case, it will become really easy for us to change that single locator from a single file, rather than changing it in every test case wherever we have written them. Okay, so it is a very simple example that I'm going to give you people. Okay, let us say that 5 different automation test engineers have designed their own test methods, and each of them are using this locator, okay, to select day, but they are passing different values over here. Okay, different values, but they are writing locator in a different way for the same day drop down. Okay, day drop down, for a day drop down they are writing the different locators, different XPaths, different CSS selectors, and so on. So obviously this will become a kind of mismanaged kind of thing, because for the same thing every automation tester is putting his effort or her effort in designing the locators, which is not suggested at all. So what instead of that we can do, and how we can solve this problem of duplicacy? Okay, so let's go to our framework. This is my framework over here, and inside this framework what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one new folder, not a package this time. Okay, I'm going to create a folder, and I'm going to give name as an input. Okay, the name of folder is input. So inside this folder what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new file. Okay, new file, and extension to this file will be properties. Okay, so I'll call this as object repository dot properties. So do not forget to mention the extension over here, object repository dot properties. So finish this. That's it. A blank object repository file have been created over here. It has no data as such. Now let us try to insert this particular locators over here. So let's say for email, okay, this is the locator and it is a CSS selector. So we'll copy this one and we will paste it over here. So let's paste this one and we will say it as email is equals to, this is the format. Okay, you should not write a statement inside object repository. Okay, that is properties file. So what is properties file? Properties file is a simple file which has data stored in form of key value pairs, where duplicate keys are not allowed. Okay, but duplicate values are allowed. So here we have to store the data in this file in terms of key value pair. So email is the key and the locator is the value. Okay, locator is the value. Next we will add next one, that is password. Okay, so we will call this as password equals to, and what is the passwords locator? This is the locator for password. So let's copy this one and save it over here. Now next what we need to do is we should copy this locator for the day. Okay, and then we will save it over here by name day. So this key you can type anything, you can give any name, but that name should be very informative, obviously. Then let's copy this one and let's paste this one over here. Month is equals to, and then again next one, copy, and year. Okay, year is equals to this one. Next, again what we are going to do is we are going to write some more keywords over here, some more locators over here. Let's say for this first name I'm going to write a locator. Okay, so I'll give this as a name, and let's find its locator. Its name is first name. Okay, so let me write down the locator for this. It's an input tag and its name is equals to this first name. Okay, we forgot to mention the double slash over here. That's it. So we got the element, copy this one and write over here first name. Okay, space is not allowed in the key as well as in the value. Okay. Then again for the surname, let us write the locator for the surname. Its name is last name. Okay, last name. So we got the unique element up here. Last name is equals to this. Got it? Then some mobile number field is here. So let us find a locator for this also. So its name is registration email underscore underscore. Okay, we got the unique element. Copy this one. Sorry, copy this one, and here mobile. Okay, this is the mobile email. We will say mobile email is equals to this. Got it? So keep saving this file. Then new password and birthday and male, female. So for female and male, we have the separate locators over here, and that is input tag, and this is the label, but we need to click on this input tag. So name, value, and ID. So we are not going to choose the ID over here. So let me write down the name, this one. So, but we are getting two elements over here. Can you see? This element is not unique, so we have to see its parent. So its parent is pan tag, and it's 5k underscore 2. Okay. And what about the next element? 5k underscore 2 5dba, both having the same parent. Okay, both are having the same parent, but what we need is parent of this female label tag. Okay, so parent of this female tag. So what we need to do is we need to write the XPath accesses over here. So we will search for the label tag which contains text. So we'll search for the label tag which contains text, and the text is female. I hope this is right, or maybe the F is small or capital, maybe like that. Yes, F is capital over here. Yeah, female. Now we are having a locator for this female, but we want a locator for this radio button. Okay, so what we'll do is we will just move over here, parent colon input. Okay, parent colon input, but it's not highlighting. Okay, let's see why it is not highlighting. Parent colon input. Oh, it is not a parent of label, that is why. So it is a sibling, so it is a preceding sibling, right? Preceding sibling colon input. Now it is highlighting the proper radio button. Can you see? This XPath can be, we can use. Okay, let's go over here and we'll say female is equals to this one. Okay, then again we can write for male. So let's write it down for the male. Okay, so I got a question, I guess. Refresh your screen. Okay, so let me stop sharing and start the sharing again. Can you guys see now? Can you guys see now? No? Okay, so let me resolve this problem. Okay, so for this mail we are writing the XPath or maybe any kind of locator. So here for this mail we have this element over here, and a label contains mail this time. Mail. Yep, we got the unique element. So let's copy this and let's go over here, and in front of mail is equals to, this should be right. But remember, at the end of this string we should not give any spaces, blank spaces, white spaces, or maybe at the start of value. So you should be very conscious about writing this particular object repository. Okay, this properties file. So observe over here, what we are doing is we are writing the different locators that we have found in a single file. We are maintaining them in a single file so that whenever we'll require them in a coming future, we can use them from this file itself. Okay, so I'll write some comment over here, and let's say uh, locators for sign up page. Okay, so this is the comment. Then here, let's say I can write locators for maybe profile page. Okay, so under this we can write the locators for the profile page. So this is how we can maintain this file, we can grow this file as and when required. So being an automation architecture or maybe framework designer, you should remember that you are the one who need to maintain this object repository. Whenever a team member requires the locator, you have to write the locator, you have to save that locator inside this file, and you have to share its key with the team member so that he can call that. Okay, now so far we have designed this properties file over here. Okay, now let us see how we can call it in our programming. Okay, so for that what we need to do is, this time we require a code to read dot properties file. Okay, so far we have seen that Apache POI is used to handle XLS file as well as XLSX files. Okay, then we have seen that file, using file class, you can obviously read the text files and some other files also. But here we have a properties class, and to read the properties class, we have a properties file over here, and to read the properties file, we have a properties class here in Java. Okay, so we have to create some program to read the desired key or desired locator from the properties file and supply that particular value to the desired test step. Okay, so for that what we need to do is, we have two packages over here, keywords and test cases. So we need to design a utility which will read some data from the properties file. So how we can write the utility? Now remember, this package belongs to keywords, so you should not write anything inside this package which doesn't belongs to keywords. Now this is not a keyword that we are going to write. So this is the utility. So what we are going to do is, we will create a new package over here, and we will give it a name as maybe file utility. Okay, file utility. Now inside this package, I'm going to create a new class, maybe properties file. Okay, properties file, and let's create finish. So you should not write a main method. Okay, perfect. So now let's create a method over here, and the method name is get property. Okay, get property. So this is the method that we are going to write. Now what this method is going to do is, this method will return this value, or maybe this value, whatever value. Okay, so whatever key we will pass, the value associated with that key will be returned by this method. So return type of this method will be, sorry, signals moving up. Okay, return type of this method should be, it should be string. Okay, it should be string. So here inside this properties file, we are going to create this method, and its name is get property, and it will return this method should be public static, and this should return string. Okay, so instead of void we need to write string. So we have to pass the string key to this method. Okay, string key. Now let us add the return statement. This error is saying that add a return statement. Okay, so what we'll do is, we will return a value. Okay, so string value will be null initially. Okay, but after reading the file, we are going to return this value, and in between these lines we have to write our program. Okay, perfect. Here, so here we need to write a program to read the properties file. So how we can start with that? So first, create a file input streams instance. This is the class by Java. Unfortunately it is closed, the Eclipse. So let me open that up quickly. Perfect. Okay, so we are writing the utility over here. Okay, So file utility is the package that we have created, and inside this package we are writing a method, and its name is get property. Get property is the method that we want to write, and this method should be public static, and it should return string, and it should accept the key as a parameter, and it should return the value associated with that key. So we will create a string value over here and equals to null initially, and then it will return the value. That's it. So let us quickly hit the Control Shift F so that we can indent it automatically. So here what we need to do is we need to write a file input stream instance. Okay, file input stream FIS is equals to new file input stream. Okay, and here we need to pass the path of that particular properties file. So here the path of our file is input folder. Okay, can you see this input folder? Inside this input folder we have this file object repository dot properties. So let us pass the path of this over here. Okay, input slash object repository dot properties. Okay, that's it. It's not an output stream. File input stream is what we require. Here also file input stream should be there. File input stream. So let's import them. So it will ask us to add the try catch blocks. So surround
I
it.
think you need to input change your input statement also. It is also taking file image.
So that is corrected. So it was a typo mistake. So here in the catch block, what we are going to write is an error message. Okay. Unable to open file or maybe object repository. Okay. Unable to open object repository. This is the error message that we are going to write inside the catch block. Let's say if this file is not getting opened, then obviously this error will be thrown. Okay, but if this file is opened, then what we are going to do is we are going to create an instance of the properties file over here. That is properties prop equal to new properties. Okay, that's it. And then inside this class we have a method called as load, and this method takes input stream as an object. So that is what we have already created. So this will again ask us to add the catch block over here. So add catch clause. But can you see the first exception is coming as file not found, and the second is coming as IO exception. Okay, so file not found exception belongs to this particular input stream, and IO exception is belonging to this properties class over here. Okay, next what is our requirement is to save the value inside value variable. Okay, but which value? Prop dot get. Okay, get is the name of method which takes key as a parameter. So can you see key as a parameter that we have to pass? So to this method we are going to pass this key. Maybe the get property also we can use. Okay, so let's write this method get property, and this will return this value. So once this value is loaded, it will get returned. Okay, so we have made this method as a static method so that we can call it directly by the class name. So here instead of writing the XPath, now how we can change our code. See, okay, now how we can actually change our code. So what we need to do is we need to write over here properties file dot get property, and the name of property is maybe what we want is day, right? So what we want is day. So here we need to look for the day. So the automation tester don't have to bother about the locators now. Can you see the difference? What is happening? Okay, this was the before. Okay, before he have to write the XPaths, and there are chances that four people are writing the same XPath multiple times. Okay, but here what will happen, each and every guy who requires the locators will search their locator inside this object repository file. If they are present, then they simply have to write this stereotypical code, okay, and then they have to pass the key what they require, and this method will fetch that particular key and pass to this test case. Again, we can replace this with the same code, properties file dot get property, and then what we want is month. The same thing we can write for the year. So let's copy this, let's paste this, and we will say as year. So I hope that we have written that up here. So we have all the properties set. Now observe the difference. This was the previous code, this is the code that we are writing right now. So here there is a minimum interaction with the coding, with the logics, with the objects, with the locators, with the XPath writing practices. So very minimal interaction is there now. Okay, so automation tester doesn't have to bother about what kind of locators and how they are being written. So he just have to invoke them, he just have to call up all of them. So let's execute this. So I'm executing as a test-ng test. And let us observe that what is happening with these files. Yeah, 2nd March 1987 have been selected. So it is working fine. Can you see? Failures are 0, test run 1, and test passing is also 1. Okay, TC01 is passed. So date 2nd March 1987 have been provided. Again, this is the data, test data, which we are passing to our test case. Now this test data we are hard coding over here, but this data, test data can also come from the Excel file. So we have to create one more utility to handle the Excel files. Okay, so simply go over here in the utility package, file utility package, and create a new class over here, maybe for Excel operations. Okay, Excel operations, or maybe properties file or properties operation, whatever name you want to give, you can give any kind of name. So Excel operations, inside this you have to write all of the methods which belong to perform some operation regarding to the Excel files handling. Okay, so but now we are going to concentrate on this. Let's say that this get property method is hard coding this object repository file. But let's say that in coming future you want to read some different properties file. So this method will not work. Why? Because this method will strictly open the object repository dot properties. Okay, so in the description we have to write that. Okay, this method will open object repository dot properties and will return value associated with key. Okay, this is the description that we are going to write, and it returns value in form of so this is how we need to write code string. Okay, remove this extra bracket, That's it. Now if you hover over here, then you will find the definition of this. Okay, this method will open object repository dot properties. Okay, but let's say you want some new properties file to be opened. Okay, so for that you don't have to change in this method. So create a separate method with same name, get property. Okay, same name. So this is where the overloading is coming in picture. So get property is the name of method that we want to give. Okay, again make it as public static and its return type should be string. Okay, and here we need to pass is string key and string file path. So the guy who wants to get the key out of some value out of some other properties file, then he have to pass this file path along with the key that he wants to read out of it. So simply we will create a string value again over here, which will be null. Okay, and then we will return this value from here. That's it, perfect. And inside this method again you have to write the code. Okay, the same code again, file input stream equals to new file input stream. Here we have to pass the file path variable now. Okay, that's it. And then again properties prop is equals to new properties. Okay, new properties, that's it. And again surround them with a try catch block. Okay, this should be inside properties file, this try catch, and then again prop dot load. Inside this we are going to pass this FIS, and we will add one more catch clause. Okay, inside this we are going to write this exception file. Which file? File path. Okay, not found. Okay, file path, this P should be capital. Okay, and here we are going to write some other message. Let's say sysout unable to load file. Which file? File path. Okay, that's it. So this is how we can write this method. It's very simple. So instead of hard coding the file path, we have parameterized it now. Okay, so this is how you can use the overloading concept in your framework. So this you can tell to your interviewer, so who is asking you that where you have used the oops concepts. So ask him that we have created this method, get property method, which was overloaded. And why we have overloaded? Because some guy wants only the value from the properties file or object repository. Some guy wants a value from some other properties file. Okay, so he have to pass the file path of his choice, and on his behalf our method is going to call the property or get the property out of the method. So this is how overloading can come in picture. So same, you can write some more methods, write property or maybe delete property, update property, and so on and so forth. Okay, now real problem will begin over here. So instead of this email, let us write, let's say maybe. So what we are going to do is we will give this email as a name, and let's write down properties file dot get property. Now we can see the overloaded methods over here. First method is having description. Second method doesn't have any kind of description because we haven't written them. So we will call the key, let's say email here. That's it. But can you observe we have to pass the locator type itself. Okay, so locator type we are passing over here, and this is the thing which I don't like actually, Because if we are thinking that our automation tester should not bother about anything, so let's say that he doesn't have knowledge about the Selenium, he doesn't know about the locators. So how he is going to identify that this is an XPath and this is a CSS selector? So he cannot differentiate between these two. So but here we are forcing him to write what kind of locator is it, CSS, it is XPath, or it is something else. Okay, so this is what we are forcing him right now. But what I want is, I want to remove this dependency also. Now see how I can do that. So instead of writing the locators here, what I'll do is I will write these locators in front of these values itself, CSS. Okay, but this is the locator, this is one value and this is the second value. So we should have a separator between both of these values. So separator can be anything. So you can use any kind of separator over here. So let's say I'm using double hash as a separator. Okay, so this is also CSS. So I'm writing double hash. Now this is XPath. So I'm writing XPath and double hash. Then again I'm writing XPath and double hash. Again let me write XPath and double hash. So I'm going to copy this again for each and every element. Okay, that's it. Perfect. So we are done with that. Now here automation tester don't have to write what kind of locator it is. Is it CSS? Is it XPath? Is it a partial link text or so on? Okay, so he don't have to bother now. Why? Because I am handling them at my end in the object repository itself. But if you observe that what kind of method I have written over here, this is the get property method that I have written, and I'm passing a key and it is returning the value to me. But what kind of value will be written now? This entire value will be returned, but I want this value only. Okay, so this is the composite value that we are going to get. But what we want is this email separately and this CSS separately. So here the logic of string will be helpful for us. So what we are going to get is string, this bulk string we are going to get. So we need to split this string on basis of double hash. So after splitting, we will get the single dimensional string array as output, and which has 0th index as a CSS and first index will be email. Okay, so that kind of thing we have to handle here in the get property method. Okay, get property method. So instead of get property, what I'll create is I will write one more method over here and I will give its name as get locator. Get locator, this is the method that I'm going to create, and I'll tell you why I'm creating a separate method and not changing the existing one. Okay, string maybe single dimensional array. Perfect, and then we are going to pass string key. Okay, that's it. Now we are going to create values array which will be initially null. Okay, no, sorry. Okay, perfect. And we are going to return this string array values. That's it. Perfect. So inside this, what I'm going to write now, guys, please observe over here we have created two methods. In both of the methods we have written file input stream properties, we have created these instances. But in the previous session we have seen that we have created a constants class inside keywords package, and inside this constants class what we are going to write is we will write the instance variable which we require frequently. Okay, so now we are requiring this properties frequently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add it over here, public static and then properties prop. That's it. Then again this file input stream FIS I'm going to mention over here, and I'll say public static file input stream. Oops. Sorry, I have copied it, right? So paste it over here. That's it. Now go to the properties again. Now we don't have to mention them over here. So instead of writing them over here, what I will do is constants dot prop. So I'm going to call this prop from the constants class. Constants dot java. Public static properties prop. Okay, perfect. So what is it saying? Is it asking me to import? Yes. Okay, perfect. And here again, constants dot prop. So instead of file input stream, what I'll do is constants dot prop dot fis, sorry. So I'll replace in the first method also, here also, constants dot fis, and here constants dot prop. That's it. Here also constants dot prop. So let me copy this now. Dot prop. That's it. Here also we have to replace each and everything. That's it. I hope you guys understood this step, what I did now. Perfect. Now again, what we need is constants dot fis. Now see, we don't have to create each and everything. File input stream. Okay, and we have to pass again input folder slash object repository dot properties. That's it. Again, we have to write the trackage block. Okay, and we will give the error message. So understand, I'm writing the error message each and every time. Okay, file unable to open object repository. So instead of writing file not found, I will write IO exception over here directly. Okay, so that I can avoid one more catch block. Constants dot, again I need prop is equals to new properties. Now what is happening? The single instance is initializing each and every time, reinitializing each and every time. Constants dot prop dot load, and here constants dot fis. Okay, that's it. And then again, what we need to do is constants dot prop dot get property, and the key we need to pass. Got it? Now we will get the entire value over here, a composite value. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to separate them. Okay, so what we can do is string part is equals to constant dot prop dot get value. Okay, now we have to split it. Sorry. So we will not create one over here. Values is equals to part dot split, and on basis of double hash I'm going to split the entire part string. Okay, so this part string which is coming from the object repository will be split on basis of hashtag. Okay, and that array split method return type is single dimensional string array. So that is what we have created over here. So inside this values, at the 0th position there will be css, and at the first position there will be the locator. Okay, whatever css we have written. So that's it. Okay, now we have to return this value. So if you want to see this method in action, then I can show you people. Okay, so let's say we locator type and plus values of 0. Okay, same way we can write locator value plus values of 1. That's it. So let me create a main method so that I can call and show you people. Call this method. Let's call this method, and that is get locator. Get locator. Let's say I want to get a locator for email. So I have to pass them in terms of string. And that's it. Okay, so let's execute this method and let's test it. Can you see locator type is CSS and locator value is email. So whatever key you pass, it will give you the exact detail now. So let's find for this one, mobile dash email. So let's see what happens. Yep, can you see the locator type XPath and the locator value is this one. So it is giving the separate values to us. It is proved, right? Means this method, get locator method, is giving the separate values to us. Now how we can use this method in our test cases? So here what we need to do is we need to call this method properties file dot get locator. Can you see this method get locator? And what we will pass the key over here. And what is the key? Email is the key. Okay, now this is going to give the array. Okay, but we want only one value, so we will write 0 over here. That's it. And then again here what we need to write is 1. That's it. So this is how it is simple. Okay, so get locator we need to write, not property. Get locator. That's it. So we got it over here. So also you can make them on the separate lines also. Let's say string parts is equals to maybe properties file dot get locator and maybe email over here. That's it. And you can replace this line by parts. That's it. Either you write the left part of equal to assignment operator, or you write the right part of the equal to assignment operator. Okay, so both works fine. So this is the right part of equal to assignment. This is the left part of equal to assignment operator. Okay, so let's test this one, whether this is working perfectly fine or not. Okay, browser is launched. So it should type something in the email. It is typing. It should type something in the password. It typed perfectly. That's it. Can you see it's passed? Progress console. So one failure is here. I don't know why. Invalid selector exception. Unable to locate an element with the XPath expression XPath hash cell. Okay. So here it is giving the problem. Why? Because we haven't used the methods over here. That is why it is giving the problem for this. So this is how actually you can use the properties class and properties file. Okay, so let me show you one more example of doing this. So this is the parts array we have written. Now what we can do is instead of creating this as a string, we can create it as a string buffer also. Why? Because string buffers are mutable, whereas strings are immutable. But we'll not talk about that over here. That will make our session very lengthy. So this is how this is a very simple trick and technique which we can use, and we can embed the properties file in our framework, and we can maintain whatever objects we are writing for our framework in a single file. There should be a single source for each and everything. There should be a single source of test data. There should be a single source of objects or maybe locators, whatever you are writing. There should be a single source of each and everything. that you are writing. So there should be a modularity in your framework. Things should not get interconnected with each other. They should not get merged with each other each and every time. So you should keep an eye on the things which are under development. So the people should not write the duplicate logic for same thing. Okay, let's say 5 people are writing the same logic for different things. So this should not happen at the end of the day. So this is the motto of telling or maintaining this object repository under one single file. Okay, so let me replace this over here, properties file. But the only burden he is having now to call the methods, call the appropriate method. Okay, so I'll call maybe password. This is the key and the 0th value of it. So get locator is the separate method that we have created, because the guy who wants the locator can write this method. Now a guy who wants only value from the properties file, then he have a method get property. Okay, that's it. So let us keep on replacing each and everything. Okay, so can you observe over here, they are quite similar, only the parameters are changing. Okay, so let me write down here, instead of pass we are going to write the day. Again here we are going to copy paste this one, and maybe month. Okay, month. Again we can replace this one, year and year. So this is just a mechanical stuff he have to do, so there is no logic in it. So this is how easy it is if you are having an automation framework. That's it, it is working fine. Okay, it have selected the dates over here also. Let's see the result. It is passing, perfect. The locator types are getting printed each and every time. Okay, so this is all about including the properties file in your keyword driven framework.